Greetings comic lovers and welcome back to Casually Comics, the channel where we chat all things comics, from reviews of comics new and old, to history, to anecdotes, to really wherever our whims take us. And did you forget that we were covering Killer Smile? Because I kinda did. And not because it wasn't good, but just because so much comes out all the time. Many comics. But of course I remembered when the psychedelic cover jumped out at me, like literally, it's almost 3D in how it's been drawn. I'm Sasha, and if you sometimes forget what you're reading too, then be sure to subscribe so that you never forget about any of our videos, because you don't want to miss any. I know there's a lot of content out there, but you want this content. So, Killer Smile, a Black Label comic about yet another hapless psychiatrist trying to cure/help the Joker. It is not going well. I would say spoilers, but no, that's just a given. If you missed part 1, again as always, why would you do that? But of course I will have links and of course cards for you to click so you can check it out. But if you have no time, I will as always do clip notes. Our protagonist is Ben Arnell, and he's been treating the Joker. He wants to write a book based on his discoveries, and he is not okay. Reality has begun to blur. He is snapping at his family, and the Joker is 100% inside his head. He is hallucinating the whole 9 yards. It's not a good time to be Ben. Things indeed look like they can only get worse, and we already were tossing around some morbid theories about his family because there's clear hints that they're also not okay. Or will not be okay. I mean, if it all turns out hunky-dory for Ben, I'll eat something. Not something inedible though, like a hat. No, I'll eat a pineapple. Issue 2, go! This cover is done in the same style as the first, but with a more classic Joker on the cover. It is, for me at least, far harder to look at than the first cover. Perhaps it's just the color scheme. I like it, but I can't look at it for more than a few seconds at a time. It starts to cause a very visceral, kind of swirly, nauseous reaction. So heads up if you're affected by stuff like that. Super cool, but I just need to look at it like a painting in a horror movie, just a quick glance, then run out of the room. This issue also has a pretty cool variant cover. It's not terrifying like last issues, but it's fun. It's a diner variant, and that will make sense in a very short while. I love how they're all so engaged in what the Joker ordered. Like, it's basically just eggs and bacon, but they're like, wow, look at this diner food. We open on Ben driving to a diner named Arkham's. There are two worlds. There is the world that most of us inhabit. This is the world where we live our day-to-day lives. For the sake of simplicity, let's call this the real world. But there is another world. And this other place is one that only special people can see. No, that's not right. They don't just see this other place. These special people actually live in it. Ben is of course metaphorically talking about sanity and insanity, waxing poetic and philosophical, and I 100% like to believe that this is what his book that he's planning on writing would sound like. It was the best of smiles. It was the worst of smiles. Arkham is a diner, staffed and populated by Arkham inmates. Also, Ben starts going on about how to call these people mad would be too reductive, too simplistic. You see that? That's the kind of reasoning that leads to you hallucinating in washrooms. He's then joined by the Joker, who orders for him. Which is not surprising. The Joker is totally the type of person who would order for you. The dish that he gets is his head on a platter, served up in clown makeup, and the Joker proceeds to then eat his brain. See? He is not okay. Where it's his therapist. We know he should have one. It's a requirement. Ben wakes up screaming, scaring his wife, and then scaring her even more when he asks her if this is real. Downstairs, his son is watching the ominous Mr. Smiles on his phone, and then enthusiastically tells his dad he has a joke for him. It's never a good thing in a Joker story. All jokes are ominous. Why don't cannibals eat clowns? Because they taste funny. Where did you hear that? I don't know. School? Well, it's not funny. Ben, I'm gonna let you finish, but that joke is prime grade school humor, high comedy on the playground circuit, worth at least a humoring chuckle. I'll start. Ha! Ben then proceeds to actually get physically rough with his son when he tries to go down to the basement. You'll remember the basement was the area with the green door from his nightmare last issue, but now he tells his son that his office is down there, so he can't go down. There are two worlds, and this place sits at the borderline between them. It's Arkham, and it's actually a very nice looking Arkham. I mean, comparatively. No scary gothic castle for this comic. No, we get a hospital, aesthetic, very kind of cold looking Arkham. I don't know, maybe for some people that might be scarier than the old kind of gothic castle. Ben then proceeds to have another session with the Joker where he starts to ask him about his origins, and the Joker is just bored. Really bored. He even flat out laughs at him when Ben asks him doesn't he want to get better. Again, fair. I don't know, I mean, Ben could write this book, but it would mostly be about how the Joker was making fun of him the whole time. Not exactly the most compelling read, I mean, unless he writes it as dramatically as that opening. How I Didn't Cure the Joker and Learned to Accept That He Was Making Fun of Me, a memoir. I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh at you, Benjamin. It's just, well, you really think I'm the sick one, do you? Look around. Look where you are. There's a really nice parallel panel here of the starkness of the holding area Ben sits in that makes the cold clinicalness of it feel unreal and disconcerting, while the Joker's, because it has so much more detail in the drawing, actually comes across as more solid and inviting, simply for the fact that it's full of familiar objects. Even the Joker. It's a subtle visual cue, nicely executed. Ben tries to lure him into talking about Batman, but he's bored about that too. He's like, yeah, soulmates, been there, done that, and he calls him that. That's not just me being flippant. But he then flips the script on Ben by asking him how his wife is doing, calling her by her name, Anna, and then doing the same for his son, Simon. So of course Ben trips out, pounding on the glass and everything else you can imagine, most of the pounding. His boss then proceeds to be my favorite person. What? You didn't think the Joker would try to get in your head? Come on, Ben. I love how even mid Ben's descent, so much of this is just people calling him out. Joker, his boss, sad times. New title, Why I Quit My Job to Open a Diner, the Ben Arnell story. Ben proceeds to apologize and say that he knows he's been on edge, but 3 weeks just isn't enough time to get all the juice he needs for his memoir. The juice? I mean, it's gonna take months, years even. Ben, it's already been dun dun dun. Place your bets now on how long it's actually been. There wouldn't be a line like that if it hadn't been longer than he thinks it's been. The comic really wants you to know that. It's leading you in a big way. And you know it's not even the biggest thing coming because the comic gave it to you. That was a freebie. Outside, the Joker tries to tell the same joke Ben's son told him to Killer Croc, who isn't here for it because he already knows the punchline. Yeah, I bet Croc knows all the cannibal jokes. Ben continues to hallucinate, seeing gruesome visions of his family dead, Jokerized, and he realizes he can't go on not knowing how the Joker knew details about his family. So he rushes back to Arkham, as you do. I have to know. No, you don't. It's better this way. I told you they weren't fine. Also, that was a bit pointed. Give me some room, comic, to breathe. I'll get there. We're all smart cookies. Need space. Don't need to hit me right on the nose. When he goes back to confront the Joker, he finally learns the truth. Finally, it's been 2 issues. Hardly been like a really long wait. Benji dear, you've been treating me for 3 years. Really? They've been letting this man be this much of a hot mess for 3 whole years? A, how Harley happened is starting to make a lot more sense. And B, this is Arkham, so I'm not sure exactly what I was expecting. Standards? But that's not the best part, Benjamin. I know Simon and Anna's names because you told me. Months ago, you told me right after Anna left you and took your son with her. No! Sorry, it's very hard to do a credible no, but I'll try harder. No! Still not credible. It's still a cartoon. No! No, it's a sad cartoon. We'll live with that. Do they not have cameras or night guards to hear this? Oh, just another doctor breaking down. Put out another want ad. Ben realizes the Joker is right as the illusion of his daily life comes crashing down as he is forced to contend that his real world was the other world and that he has been living in it as the lines begin to parallel from the start of the comic. Mirror would be a better word. A mirroring, even better. Echoing. This time we see Ben going through his home, but it's empty and barren and sad, and he's just sleeping on a mattress. Slowly, Ben makes his way down to the basement, which isn't an office at all, but instead contains a vanity. No need to cry. It's only a joke. The vanity is shown to contain grease paint, all in the colors you'd need for clown makeup. And so he paints his face in the same manner as the head in his dream on a platter, served up for the Joker. And probably not for the first time either. I enjoyed this, just not as much as issue 1. A few lines where I felt a bit too lead towards a conclusion, but there's still 1 issue left. There's time for a misdirect. Although I'm not sure about the first looks book for this issue back in November that said that it took the story in a bold new direction. Really, it seemed like it was just taking the story where it was already going. Darkness for Ben. Specifically, it said that it was going to turn it on its head, but I think at this point turning it on its head would be like, Ben cures the Joker and he writes a book and his family's fine and they love him. I was surprised that as it stands, his family seems to be alive and that they just left him. I am both pleased and disappointed. I don't know what that says about me. Morbid things, probably. This issue also felt like it progressed very fast, from what is going on to your family left you and it's been 3 years. But I still want to know what's going on with Ben. I mean, how bad are we talking? Is he killing people in the streets dressed like a clown? Is he gonna break him out of Arkham like Harley Quinn? What do you think the future holds for Ben? Do you believe the Joker about his family? Did Ben kill and eat his family? Probably not, but I got you thinking. Can you look at this cover? Tell me all the things and whatever else you want to tell me down below. And while you're down there, please do all the YouTube things. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell notification so that you never miss a vid. I'm Sasha, and thanks so much for watching Casually Comics. I, as always, appreciate all the time you spend here with me. It's so good. Thank you, it's fun. I tripped over my words there. Effusive, happy, and I'll of course see you again soon. Bye-bye.